The unfurling of awnings usually marks the rollout of patio season. It's a long tradition, one that actually dates back centuries. Early Romans were among the first to seek refuge from the hot sun under fabric awnings. And today, design innovations mean there's always something new under the sun. With modern mechanisms, unfolding an awning has never been easier. This manual crank system is designed for a smooth rollout. And for extra convenience, there are motorized awnings, operated by remote control. Production begins with the fabric, which comes in a range of weather-resistant synthetics. The seamstress cuts out patterns from thick acrylic material and sews the pieces together. Here she works on the awning's front valance. A roller keeps the fabric correctly aligned and stops it from bunching up as she sews. She stitches a long pocket along the border. A plastic rod will later be channeled through it to connect the valance to the awning framework. She traces a scalloped edge onto the bottom of the valance and then carefully cuts along the penciled line. With a steady hand, she follows the outline precisely to give the valance those distinctive curves and notches. Workers then position the awning panel in front of an aluminum tube. They thread the pocketed end of the awning into a channel in the tube and then slide a plastic rod into the pocket. This secures the end of the fabric to the tube. It takes two people to avoid any buckling of the fabric. They insert a plastic cap into one end of the tube, but leave the other end open for the installation of the motor. They now wind the awning panel around the tube, synchronizing their efforts so the tension in the roll is equal at both ends. Next, rollers carry a squared aluminum tube to a circular saw. Once in position, arms descend to steady the tube, and the saw slices it to the correct length. The cut tube will be the carrier bar, an important part of the awning framework. A worker now builds that framework, starting with the carrier bar. He slides a bracket partway down the tube and uses it to attach the retractable arms, securing the assembly with a heavy-duty steel pin. Two workers slide connector pieces into grooves in the drop bar for the valance. Then they raise the bar and attach the retractable arms. They install a side bearing in the end of the connector bar. It's one of two that will support the awning's main tube. Next up is that fabric-wrapped tube. They attach it to the framework and tuck the other end of the awning fabric into a round slot in the drop bar. They slide another long plastic rod through a pocket in the fabric to secure it. They're now ready for the motor. It's a tubular model. He attaches a metal bracket for assembling the motor to the main framework. He then equips the tubular motor with two plastic rings, one at each end. Powered by the motor, these rings will revolve to open and close the awning. A test confirms that it's fully operational. He slides the tubular motor into the open end of the awning tube. He attaches the second side bearing to the metal bracket and caps the open end of the drop bar. A few taps with the hammer drives it down the shaft. He now tests the awning to confirm that everything unfolds as it should. He tightens some screws, and when it's perfectly operational, he'll install the valance. It takes about an hour to manufacture a motorized awning, and it should supply about a decade of shade.